Hi. Where did I put that? Give me a second. Oh, I got the chills. Oh. There. Okay. Angels of love and light, I welcome you in to direct and protect these messages. My chakras, my auras, my space, and that of our children's. I welcome back, fellow practitioners of love and light, the wisest of the wise, the most ethical of all. Yeah, I think that's the first time that I asked for that. The ones that shall feel most welcome, that are most welcome, who reciprocate, obviously, that goes hand in hand with their very best equally, always. Yeah. It's not conditional. It's not in the interim. It's not strategic in its delivery. It is what it is, and it shall stay just as is, if not within a steady growth pattern, if not growth spurt. So, very much appreciated, because obviously you are comprised of my divine support and sponsorships. So thank you very, very much. Okay, so I just had a talking to. I had a talking to during off hours, and so it was just a bit of concern for me, because I didn't realize that they were red flags enough to show that I wasn't listening or receptive to the one-on-one. I feel like things escalated just a little bit. And so I don't know where that's coming from. I don't know if I should really decipher that energy in its most intricate design, because obviously the webbings are very, I'm hearing hollowed out, and I don't know what that means, like right at this very given moment. Maybe I'll understand it later when I play back and review this message. Before carrying over to YouTube. And I don't know 100% if I'm going to do that. So I'm going to use, I felt intuitively guided, called to pick a different deck from the ones that I've been using like consistently. And it's a Dark Days Tarot. Although there is darkness and there's black and white expressed throughout the imagery, the illustrations of this card, it's very much, I don't want to say cartoon-like. It's animated within like the plume version. So it's artistry within inscriptions and scribes, like scribing. Yeah. So it's like pen and pen and paper. Very basic. It's just black and white. So sometimes things that are dark are very straightforward within its abruptness, but these cards are not harsh within delivery. They beautify it within the particular taste of imagery, which allows for expansion within the interminglings of the mind, between the polarities of darkness and light. The simplicity of it, the minimalistic view, regardless of whatever walk of life you tread on, your motion forwards on. So I feel like I don't think I've been able to depict its description like this, but I've used it several times in the past, and I feel like it just, I don't know, called to me. In fact, my right hand is tingling, like my palm is very much intact with the selenite. So I feel like angelic energies have, of light and love obviously, have called me to use this deck. I don't know what to expect out of it, but I would like to know. I think I did better. I did much better today with presentation. And I know during the duration of my new environments that I haven't paid much attention to the intricacies of design within packaging and presentation when it comes to aesthetics, that I just need to show up and perform efficiently, effectively, and at my best, given that the work will show for itself, that the interactions will show for itself, that anything else would rather be a distraction. That's ironic. Yeah, I feel like that's where I was led to go with the recent durations of my new environments. And like one relationship it bleeds into the next. So there's a multitude, like a domino effect of relationships that unfolds as we grow into a new realm. And that goes for anybody, really. But I've come to that realization real time, at least within its verbal cognition. So thank you again, Angels of Love and Light, and my inner core divine circle team. And so, the talking was about the presentation, and so I'm told to be more cognizant of it, and honor those observations, to minimize any room for misunderstandings, hiccups, missteps that are associated with the packaging and or presentation of interactions, even if I'm just in my little sandbox here. So I left that interaction initially feeling saddened by it. But I mean, the interaction itself came out shining with the practicality of understanding and approaching it, responding with the ease of the acknowledgments and the, again, practicality of such requests. I think I was just uneasy, that left with an uneasy feeling, like an aftertaste, that that it escalated to that point, because my defiance isn't in things that are, or like I listen, and I don't I don't give much credit to things that are petty. So if they are important to people who are like mentors or guides, it's I don't do that. I don't. So I have the realization, like this feeling that it's not my problem, but it is a problem, or a possible problem. So I'd like to just go ahead and minimize that room for error in thought and perceptions, so that I can, as a byproduct, be more effective in communications, especially with what I'm all about. So sometimes you have to like bend a little to allow for some wiggle room. When penetrating a new circle. Because it's like phlebotomy, okay? When you're a nurse and you're learning, you're not just going to poke at every, thing, right? It's very like eyes on the prize on its effectiveness. And this has no room for the thought of selling out. This is more like, okay, I know there's another person on the other end. This particular dynamic, because it's new, and most people do not cope well with change or are open to it, regardless of how they are on the forefront. When it comes to change, many people have a difficult time with that adjustment, even with a pre-existing circle. It's not just the newbie, it's the collective. So understanding like phlebotomy, okay, it's the insertion point must be it's not going to be a guessing game here. So my life right now, and it has been for some time, has been mainly about being straightforward, because that's the optimal point of success. So there's no sales pitch here. It's very straightforward on what needs to happen. And I just don't feel like I disobeyed anyone. But at the same time, I feel like my actions were portrayed, or my interactions, how I packaged or presented myself, came off as very offensive. So it took like an hour for me to restabilize, and ask for divine help to recondition my thoughts and surrender a lot of the things that were just not healthy for me to keep or hold on to. And the cognition part is easy, right? Because leaders, regardless of whatever, your understood role is within the circle, they don't get hung up on such things. They acknowledge, address, and move on. And so even though I cognitively understood that, it was a challenge for me up until just like a few minutes ago. Even just talking this out is very helpful for me. I think the secondary response to that was that I was sad that I was not given proper acknowledgement to the seriousness of such a topic. I didn't, and the fact that it escalated to a level that implied that I was disobeying or not thoughtful of a request. I'd like to find out. I feel like it's only rational for me to find out, like, if somebody wants me to know what my place is and where my place is and honor that, then I have the right to know what kind of energies are around me. I've been through enough drama already. So, I believe it is only fair for me to discern my environment. I have the right to know what I'm walking into. What are the terms when things are stable versus when they're turbulent? I need to know the complexities, and learning them, studying them, should not create a position where I am at fault. I think it's the wisest thing to do that any leader would do. So hold all aesthetics aside, the marketing nature of how we present ourselves, what's laying at the, like, what's the energetic core? What is that comprised of? You know, when I first started tarot, I tried to intermesh myself and be a motivating factor, enabler to all sorts of peers. And when I got better, like, people didn't think anything of me. They pretty much ignored me, especially if they were higher up. They discounted me, to be more truthful with that. But that just taught me how to become more self-reliant, and I just got better. I just got better and better and better and better and better and better and better. And I'm still getting better. So, but once they saw that I was getting better, what were we going to say about that? Oh, I got wrapped up in feelings. They didn't know, thank you, angels. They didn't know what I was all about, that the power that I held was kind of scary to them, that it tripped them out. First there was envy, because why would I be given so much power? They wanted to know that after all their years of practice and induction to whatever circles that they committed to. Why was I given such kind of power? And then there were other mixed feelings along the way once I got better and better. When I went through several life experiences, there was a natural fear of not knowing the answers that I've been given until I relayed them. So they didn't know where I stood. They didn't know what my belief systems were. They didn't know what my code of ethics were. Because when you give someone power, it's been scary. Because history shows the abuse of it. So they just wanted to kind of, instead of check me, like treating me like a pushover, they had to really check me for validation. It's what commonly is done with, like, engineering validation checks, right? Before you say it's shelf ready. So I feel like I've undergone that process. Like, I know I have. And the higher up you go, the more intense become the validation checks. But again, they have to check themselves, because like phlebotomy, they have to realize that there's another person, there's another sentience that is already given credibility in other realms, which they, have, that they most desire. And they have to realize that I'm another being on another end that has already been pre-validated. So, I want to know what kind of energy, what is happening around me, what kind of energies are around me. And that is the intention that I put forth within this reading. Okay, thank you. Okay. And we have a little piece of orange calcite in the box, along with desert rose. I forget what it's called. But you look up the desert rose, like stone or crystal or whatever, and they're unlike any others. So orange calcite is good for bringing about happiness, that vibe, that energetic frequency, accentuating it. Calcite is very, very good at that. Yeah, it's refreshing. It's orange sliced calcite. Okay, so let's get all the cards here. Okay, make sure that they're in order, like all facing one way. I'm going to go ahead and just kind of reshuffle them randomly. Okay, so we're going to read within all directions because the cards are kind of made that way, or you can't really tell which side is up or down when you're looking at it from the back imagery. Okay. So it's 6:56 in the evening. Yeah. So what's happening around me? What kind of energies are around me? Spirit. What kind of energies are around me? What's happening around me within these new circles? Knight of Pentacles, okay. People who take their time for to fulfill the right order, to deliver accurately. People who, instead of bending over backwards, they're bending forward. So they reach out. They practice in self-care here because, they're reaching forward instead of bending over backwards. And they're not reaching to the pentacle. They're actually motioning towards their vehicle. So they're mindful, or they're very aware of their bodily presence. Okay. So maybe I'm just going to take this like as the most positive point in this as mentorship with being very aware of my bodily presence. That they depict clearly what my intentions are. Okay, I can get that. That's cool. Okay. Okay, what is happening around me? What kind of energies are around me? Spirit. Okay. Oh, it's the Emperor inversed. So these are masters of their own domain. Yeah, that's what they're saying. This is also spirit. Magnetized to me. Magnetized within supreme mentorship, that it's above all the most validating. So those energies here are confined to the human 3D experience, like they're burdened with that. Each of us are within just the dynamics, okay? We may unload some of those burdens, but with each and every day, they're ever present. There's a constant unloading, of letting go, release. And we can't look at it as siphoning. We have to look at it as a surrender. So there's a surrender within its active mode, but also the acceptance that some things are just are meant to be let go of. I don't know. That must mean something for somebody. But there's a rainbow right here, at the almost creating a path to another mountaintop. So this is supreme form within building bridges from one mountain to another. So I'm around energies that are have achieved mastery in what they do. Yeah. So, but it's spirit, really, as my primary, like that's my very, 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 very best friend and boss. And, just, I think very highly of, I feel very, fond and close to. So I'm saying basically not to worry, because it's not just that I'm around those energies, but also am very much one of a kind. And also can hold my own. So not to doubt, even with the first foot in, or even the second, like en route to the second foot in, that I can hold my own. I am holding my own. Yeah. I think people by now can see that within me. Okay. All right. Next up. Okay. What is happening around me? What kind of energies are around me, Spirit? Okay, so we have these ones. We have the 9 of Swords in it looks like in reversal, but it's inverted. And 10 of Wands accentuated. 2 of Wands in reversal. And Page of Swords in reversal. Okay, so we have some sort of like troublemaking energy. Somebody who's trying to test, like challenge our power. Like, like sticking out their tongue within their own cycles. So this is not just an offense to me, but to others. It's habitual. It's a cycle. Do you see that? Trying to challenge my power. These are people who misuse the truth, who bend it, who use data against you. They are spies. They are, so that's what that is, right behind the scenes. That's what's happening there. Okay. They're very much the same person, same energy. So I can't say that it's a collective, but I can definitely say this is manifested in a singular person. That's their root. They have a history of it. Whether they show it or not, they have a history of it. This is matter of fact. Because it's connected like a bike chain, That's how they gain traction. That's their that's their motivation. That's what keeps them going. Two of Wands in reverse, though they are luckily mistaken. They, I think others are able to see that they sized up situations incorrectly, that they believed the wrong person, that they that something was severely misunderstood. Yeah. 10 of Wands accentuated, it's bringing on burdens that are unnecessary. So these are definitely troublemakers. Not the collective. I can't yet speak for the collective, but this particular energy is very much causing unnecessary burdens. It's accentuated. It's not just upright, it's accentuated. 9 of Swords, it's to make me sweat it. I don't know. This is spending long nights, losing sleep over it, totally sweating it, because it's inverted, and that's it. It's very much personal when it comes to that level. Yeah, it's laying on a bed of nails, basically. But the trick is that when you lay on a bed of nails, there's so many placed close together that the surface tension of our skin contact to the nails stabilizes into the water tension, right? It's very very similar to that scheme, that way of thought. But these are just 9 swords spread out. So let's look at the chakras. Okay, so we have our Earth's start. Okay, so let's start with the root chakra, sacral chakra, solar plexus, heart, throat. You have some at your ears, your third eye, your crown, and then I forget what that one is called. But there's so many chakras that we don't normally talk about. There's more than that. So, but it's piercing. It's piercing. It's meant to pierce. So there's that. Okay. So that's what's happening around me. I mean, if you're a reader and you're comprehending this in a different light, then feel open to convey, but this is what I know that my readings are accurate, but it doesn't mean that there's no room for other interpretations. And perhaps within your efforts in interpreting it yourself, that you'll be able to discover more from it. I learned that at a midpoint, let's say 2 years into my studies and practice, that I could do that with other tarot readers, and I was spot on correct. You have to have the right intentions, not just within study mode, the Page of Swords in reverse could dignify, but the validity of ethics, what your intentions are, reflective of the highest good, especially when you're spreading that seed to others. Yeah. Okay. So anything else you want to say, Spirit? So that's one scenario. Okay. What's happening around me? What kind of energies are around me? Excuse me. And Spirit says, not everything is for me to fix. Some of that release is has to do with other people's issues with me. It's not just what the spotlight just shown on me. Sometimes, like, it's just a distraction, like an implied gesture, like what you're fed to believe, when someone is put under a scope. It's a particular someone rather than a situation. So I only expect the best leaders to understand this. All others have some work to do before they can actually see, like, really understand this. Okay. So anything else, Spirit? Okay. 10 of Pentacles inverted. So what this leads to is an outpour of abundance. The recognition that there's salvaging grace in this. Grace particularly highlighted within its context. It's like circled, highlighted, put in bold, asterisks all over it, underlined. This is the highlight of the page. Yeah, there's a home on top, for goodness sakes. This is being already stabilized. So the wonderful thing about this is the presentation that the primary force, like being able to hold my own, gives me flowers, gives me blooms. It accentuates every flower that is, like, when you stop and smell the flowers, the roses or whatever, that's accentuated within my journey. Whereas comparatively speaking, I know I'm looking from, like, this is like backseat driver, but the way it's depicted is some are kind of barren and in the shadows, and then there's some that are that can see the forest for the trees, you see. So this is beautiful within the way I capture my priorities. The pinnacle is home, building a home wherever I go. The essence of it: warmth, safety, reassurance, love, care, showing up, being fully present, not just showing up and clocking in and clocking out. Because, if you just show up, you're already, like, kind of clocked out. You have to do more than that. So my expectations are higher only because that's what I practice. And because of that, the presentation is different from the others. So I'm not really meant to fit in as a cookie cutter view. I'm meant to present how I present. And there are certain, like, alternatives, just as how I feel I'm seen in its most positive light, an alternative vibe. I'm also not one to be, like, discarded as an alternate, like just another alternate option. So some realize it and uphold my efforts and energy, but some don't. And they only understand it when it's a little too late, too little too late, or something like that. There's because there's no going back. So this is very, very beautiful. Spirit is saying, just like, have trust in what you're doing, Tina. Your efforts are, like, pointing forward, especially with home at the very top, with the moon within its phases. It's like a lit candle, you know what I mean? Like, this is like a birthday cake, like a wedding cake, how you have the flowers made in fondant. It's basically kind of the same thing. Understanding this is goat energy. This is goat energy. Very much inverted. So I can hold that to myself, or I can, share that with the world. if they so choose to appreciate that. But in the meantime, I can hold it for my own, Spirit is saying. This is like a trumpeting force. Like, you can either speak it this way and just know it yourself and then do it yourself, or you can, accentuate that to the world. But you take your pick based on how well others appreciate you. And that's the truth of the matter. Because if you accentuate it to those that don't appreciate you, like, they don't even have to understand you, they can still appreciate you. You're wasting it on those that don't see or strive to not see your value. But so this is just doing it for myself right now, okay? And then just driving forward with that home energy, okay? I mean, it's goat energy either way, because have you seen where goats tread? I mean, like, basically upside down conditions, vertical, like sheer vertical, without slipping. Like, their precision, their decision making, in just like the discernment level is prime. Yeah. So we're no longer working on a sheep's level. We're working on the goat level. That's what Spirit is telling me. That I'm there. Okay. So when I also ask what energies are around me, I'm coming to the realization that just being as I am is energy around me. Those are my auric fields. That's what's around me. That's what's immediately around me. And so this is just very reassuring, topping off those 4 cards that preceded it. Like, pay no mind to that, okay? Everyone has their time, okay, of when they reap rewards or consequence. And the terms and conditions are painted accordingly to, like their palate, their tongue, basically. So I know there's some wordplay in there, but it's definite in here. Yeah. Okay. All right. Anything else, Spirit, that you want to convey before I move on to Bananagrams? What energies are around me? What's happening around me? Okay, so this one laid upright on the actual side of the box. It's 9 of Cups in reverse, and then this 9 of Pentacles in upright. This fell on my feet like braces. 9 of Pentacles. Like, normally I wouldn't share that kind of thing because it's very weird. But it goes along with the territory, right? Gets me where I need to go. And I'm adjusting them so that they're more aesthetically sound to others. So I don't... yeah. Okay. So 9 of Pentacles in upright is auspicious in itself. 9 of Cups in reverse, it could mean like insatiability. It could mean dissatisfaction. But being that I was mentored by the greats to take abundant cards, like very fruitful cards, the most promising ones in the coming, to take it within its most positive implied form, that especially next to the 9 of Pentacles, that's independence. It's being abundant and fruitful. It's being able to see all sides of of the circle, not just being within it, but standing at that point, what it looks like from each point, looking outwards, observing what's around me, even knowing that I'm encircling this, going through this revolution that picks up pieces along the way. It's understanding that energy and appreciating it. So much so, like, it's like, okay, there's a gem there. Like, looking out, and then there's a gem there. Walking the path and not being quite at the next destination point, but like noticing another gem right there and being in the, like, it's primarily noticing the gems picked up along the way on the in-betweens, between looking outwards at our conditions. And, you know, anybody in marketing understands the concept of like knowing your environment and knowing the conditions. And that's how they best forecast how to approach the current market, or its prospective value. So that's how you are able to schedule, like plan where your R&D is most optimal, like versus outputs, like being shelf ready for certain things. So there's a lot of gears working here, but it's like, yeah, definitely. So it's having prime pull on that, okay? That's what they're telling me. You know, like, you know, in Kill Bill, the little Japanese girl that like has the ball and chain thing. It's being like, not just adept within that maneuverability, but also being like a triple threat, basically, within the field. And so that might cause for a lot of intimidation, like secretly, but I don't know. I mean, it could be like a recipe for, you know, disaster if like there's constant insatiability. But this could also mean in the interim and finding those gems, like what truly makes you happy, Tina, revolve around it, you know. It's, it's cookie and cup, you know, cookie and milk, you know, on the in-betweens, okay? What makes you happy after you look out over here on the in-between, okay? Because on the first and the last step, we see that when we're looking out, we find a pentacle. But within the journey, it's kind of confusing because when we look out, the tone that was set was that we're going to find something, like immediately there. So this confusion point of like the interim is where we are really supposed to be looking, really supposed to be keeping our eyes peeled, what's close to us, what's right in front of us. And so finding those gems along the way is very resourceful within its atmosphere. I'm supposed to pull a song from Atmosphere, a very good group. I also discovered them, or group, I don't really know, but I discovered that artist at the same time as Prof, which was like now, I guess, like 3 weeks ago, maybe 2 to 3 weeks ago, something like that. So I think I got the music confused because there's so much coming through, but very good artists as well. So it's like the cookie and cup, like what brings you happiness? It's the discernment, being in hangman view, what makes you happy and fulfilled. And it's not just like the destination point as implied here, like the front end as well as the back end, and completing that cycle. And it all comes back to you, right? The initiation point, the self-initiated. I'm not saying I'm completely self-initiated, but like, it takes one to know one kind of energy. So it's like knowing your old self as well as your new self, like what you're unfolding to be. So it's honoring that, it's entertaining that primarily within these efforts, within this scale of like this circular path. So it's not like making a U-turn, it's not like going around in circles, like it's not that implication. It all comes back to us. It's karma within our own wielding. So like this is the hangman view, being objective and looking at like what makes us happy. So there's just a constant unfolding, a redefinition, just like as you would work out and your muscles become more defined. You don't lose the reason why, because like you're the one maneuvering the cups. yeah, this is beautiful. This is very beautiful energy. So, this is, what are we talking about? Like, okay, so we're answering the question, what kind of energies are around me at this time, this phase of life, and right, what's happening around me and what kind of energies are around me. So we just talked about the auric fields, and so this has gotten, like, if somebody wants to make it personal, we're gonna put a bow on it. We're gonna put, instead of a cherry on top, for me, I'm gonna put a strawberry on top, because I enjoy strawberries more than cherries, significantly more. I'm gonna customize that delivery my way, because you know what, customer's always right. I'm gonna speak my inner light, and so we transmute that energy, that cherry on top, to being something, like, we recondition our beliefs based on the most positive aspects. So regardless of the tone of delivery, we're going to receive it graciously. Yes. Yeah. That's so sweet. So again, we have master number 99 here. I did not forget to mention that. I forget what master number 99 is. I think master number 11, I think I recall, was the master achiever and master. And then master number 99, like 99... was a master, like, adventurer or aspirant, like aspiring. I feel like that. I have to just double check, but master number 99 is here. It's relevant. It's active. It's activated. Yeah, definitely. Okay. That was really nice. I really liked that. That was very sweet. Anything else that we want, to say? Let's have, like, the closing hymn. Yeah, the closing hymn, because we're not preaching to the choir. We're just singing along with them. Yeah, that's what I'm getting here. That's so wonderful. The readings have become so beautiful. Like, when you have to when you take a step back, not just like are forced to, like, I have to take a step back, like, that's drama. There's an evolution in the way we conceive, like the way we birth our the best of. Like, the best of isn't just granted the best of. We're not just, like, rated the best of. There's inner workings in it, yeah. So like, I changed patterns today, not just with, like, the presentation of, like, the aesthetics, but also the interactions. Like, I gave, like, it was a complete turnaround to how I addressed others who, like, crossed the line with my energies. But I also, I gave it a renewed chance, like a renewal on that, a renewal of contracts. I gave it that option, that I enabled, that I allowed for that, some things to be modified. And so I did really well today. If I could say, like, my best day in my new environments anyway, it was today. Today was the best of thus far. Within this, new environment, new phase. So we have the Queen of Wands in reverse, and then Page of Pentacles inverted, and the Hermit inverted. So it's being invested in, like, the dark night of the soul, the personal work that's involved. Like, you never have to get a personal invite. You don't have to be waiting around to see if others accept you or anything of that sort. You have your own, like, cave. Like, you have your own dwellings. You have your own safe haven. And you depict it like so. You define it like so. You make use of that space, not just as a void, like an abyss, but something to, like, kind of feel things out, like understand what that energy is, at your very depths, not your lows, but at your very depths, your core, that like, that is not just like how you identify in this reality. It's also like, it's timeless. It's like a floating piece. It's, I don't know how else to describe it. But it's being invested in that, like a learner. Pages are learners. They're interns. They're the youth of the pack. Like a young spirit, if not young in age. That's very much accentuated, and we have got a lot to learn. Even if like you're 60 something or whatever, older, whatever. We have a lot to learn still. That's what it's saying about ourselves. And the Queen of Wands in reverse has got it going on. It's like banging. So like, what is it? Like a hot pistol. That never gets stuck. So the Queen of Wands in reversal can be perceived as someone who is like promiscuous, who like is a player, who like misuses their prowess, for ill intent, and likely selfish reasons. But that is a perception. However, within this context, especially following the Hermit, the Dark Night of the Soul, and the Page of Pentacles inverted, this is a coming out of the shell to move into another, because there's a growth pattern depicted here. So this is being in hangman mode. Again, looking at things objectively, like, okay, if they're going to oust me in some particular manner, then I'll go along. I'll move along with that energy, and I can view it from here. I can stand apart from the situation objectively, like no feelings attached to it, and just see like what I'm being shown. That's it's so simple. And being granted the opportunities to do that, like you can no longer blame anybody. It's just like people have their own life paths. They have their own challenges, their own complexities, their own intricacies. So rather than taking offense to it, just like, okay, well, that's you, and I'm just gonna kind of learn the workings of myself, and yeah, definitely, that's what that is. Huh. Okay, so bottom of the deck is 21, accentuated. So 21 accentuated. It is the World card. It's finishing massive cycles. This is expedited form. Absolutely. This is a fish that's too big for its pond. Okay. How do I say it? Someone that's extremely underestimated. That's what Spirit is saying. Severely underestimated. But the way the divine looks at it from like that scale, like that upper view, even within its most like intense intimate form, they're looking at our feet, like I'll say looking at me as playing with a beach ball. Like life is a beach, we're just playing in the sand, right? So we got to learn how to play in the same sandbox, and so I'm called to say, because there's others here that understand this energy and are emitting it as well. I'm feeling that. So or on their way, like they're stepping their way into that. They're getting like they're wiggling their toes in the sand, through the heat, through like the crispness of like the water that's already like been dried, from the heat. They're seeing like the different degrees of texture and the sensation of what that's like being on that beach with others, shared. So this is like a massive ending to just cycles that only served us to get us to this point. and further on. This is something that we can pocket, like revisit during like the weekends. We can revisit it ever so often, that, you know, like it's available to us, is what they're saying. So it's a fish out of water, but it's also playing with collective alchemy, motioning it towards ending cycles and kind of being along with the same vibe. So that's accentuated. That's so lovely. Holy smokes. How many flowers are here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's 5 of Pentacles depicted here in daisy form, which tells us that, like, 5 of Pentacles, it's kind of like really being left out in the cold. But it's also knowing that there's help available within a welcoming home, within a welcoming atmosphere. But, you know, when you're left out in the cold and you're not included, or like considered one of a kind, one of their kind, even, it, like, you can still do something with the bare bones approach, because in divine light, 5 of Pentacles is half of the 10 of Pentacles, which is supreme form. It's legendary. So being halfway there, it's like not all is lost. Yeah. Definitely. This is so nice. Okay. So, at the top of the deck is 3 of Cups. Yeah? See? 3 of a kind here. There's at least 3 others that shine along with me, that are my crew. In this new phase, these new environments, there's at least 3 that share with me. Is it 3? Hold on. Yeah, there's at least 3. Most definitely. So, when you celebrate yourself, and those like energies are around you as well, you're in essence celebrating each other as well. Like, it's so much easier to celebrate each other, because it's like the back of your hand. Like, it's that knowledge is just it's there. There's no questioning it. It just is. This is so good. Do you know how long I've waited for... Do you know how long I have waited to see when the 3 of Cups would show itself in upright? I decided to let go of it, after a while, I just decided to let go of it. That was what was happening at the moment, and that had its own context that I had to derive within the curriculum of, like, this learning atmosphere. But, like, lo and behold, the 3 of Cups is here. It's not inverted. It's not in reversal. But, like, I don't recall the last time, if ever, that I've had it up. I mean, at least, you know, accentuated. And maybe it's been such a long time that it has been upright. But I don't even remember the time or a time that it has been upright or accentuated. So, this is very nice. It's refreshing, just like the orange calcite, my dear. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to cut the deck, and then I'm going to go to Bananagrams. Page of Wands. Okay, so this is Jesus Christ energy coming through, because I remember when I asked Jesus, like, their opinion of me, why he likes me so much. It was accentuated, which means, like, I'm confrontational. Like, you want to start something? Let's be for real about it. Let's do this. So you automatically siphon out, weed out anyone who's not for real for it, like, who's not down for it. But this is like the most mediated form. This is not like being like absolutely super passionate about it, like that there's no, I don't know, no wiggle room, that like certain things will not be compromised. But for here, this is like the art of negotiation. Like, okay, I can do that, but you can also do this. And this is a hidden Queen of Wands here. This is a witch because of that cat right there. So this is someone who doesn't just get fired up, but like is all about passionate pursuits. This is someone who follows her intuition and is like spot on for it. Spot on. Yeah, that's so this is like catching fire. This is what is that? Mocking something like that. That's what this is. This is an initiate taking the initiative that most would not do. So that's excellent. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and take that right there, and then go ahead and put those there. Okay, so now it is Bananagrams time. That's so lovely. Like, my vibe is like, oh, so much better. Okay, I feel so much better. Okay, thank you. All right, so Bananagrams time. What is it that we are meant to see? We have L fell down there. So we have I faced up, then we have W face down, and A face down. So IWA? Huh. No. What could that mean? I don't know. Give me a second. I'm going to figure this out. Oh, okay. So it's the fox sniffing things out, like following the nose, like, you know, is but it's also drawing the line as well. You know, it's starting to scribe, it's starting to speak, it's starting to motion itself to communicate better. Yeah. So L was on the bottom here. So it's no longer crying. Wail, you know, WAIL. It's no longer crying. We're going to drop that. You know, we received that like some sort of like a loss, but we're not going to cry about it anymore. We're going to leave it like, you know, we're going to separate the two. Yeah. So this is absolutely the fine art of discernment, like just at the best, because we see things for what they are, but we don't have to take them as is. You know what I mean? We can sift through, and sometimes we don't even have to sift through. We can just like follow our nose. So EPA, STP. So we have something from Stone Temple Pilots. I have to define. AGOVUEREYISUJHE. Okay. I see ropes. So somebody might be trying to be doing a binding. Yeah, I see yes right there. It's like all together right there. I see upheaval. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Page. Let me just show you. Gosh. Oopsie. So look. Okay. So I see rope. I see yes because of the binding. I saw heave somewhere. Yeah, like it's starting to say that. And then I saw upheaval. And then we have page right there. Let's bring those in. So there might be something from Jimmy Page too that I'm supposed to divine. I know I don't normally get that, like individual artists from a band. Let me see if there's anything else here. Oh, I see poser. And I see trope, Troupe, troops. Okay, so again, this is validating that there's more than one environment. I see triple too. Okay. I see wages. I see space. S-P-A... Wait, there's no C-E. Like, there's no C here. Okay. But we do see phase. Yeah, and it's strewn about here. West, again, we're working with, I think, what is it? The water element. Okay. So again, our intuitive bodies are at prime here. Gosh, I have to write this stuff down. Give me a second. Hold on. Let me put this down. I have to write down somewhere. Okay. Oh, here's a note. Just give me a second so I can write this down. So Jimmy Page, Atmosphere, and Stone Temple Pilots. I don't know Stone Temple Pilots music too well. But let's see. Sugar. So that could be that oldies song, or it could be what is it? System of a Down. I feel like it's that, but I initially got that, but I was told, like, when I was motioning it out, I got more of that. Because like the startling force of it, I don't remember what the. Oh, I see Levy. I think there's a song about something. I see Levi. I think that's like a biblical kind of like old religious thing. But it's also like Levi's, you know, I wore Levi's today and they were khakis. I looked like one of the dudes. I see Trist, Trys. Oh, I know, there's no other tree. T. Triple, 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 yeah. I see triple, so I feel like I have to do that. But there's something else that I forgot I was supposed to put together. Grapes. Grapes of Wrath. I don't remember what that was all about. But I got to start like putting these things together. It upsets me a little bit that I forgot what I was supposed to put together. Oh gosh. Triple. Okay. So something about being like a triple threat, but it's also like, what do you call that? Yeah, that's just triple. I don't know. We might also, I don't know. That's what I'm seeing here. Names. I'm not supposed to spend too much time on names, but I think I have Teresa here. Tessa, Terry, Tori, Tara, Sherry, Shiva. Oh my gosh. Yeah, because first I got Satan, but I didn't say it because there were other things coming through. But Lord Shiva. Spare. Spore. Do I have an N here? No, I don't. Eve, Eva or Ava, Epi. Somebody has an EpiPen. What is that from? Allergies, like, um, um, Sage, Vegas. I'm supposed to get something from, like, what, Dirty Vegas? Okay. Goats. Yeah, for real. This is so cool. Triple goats. Yeah, that's so cool. I like it. So my community is growing. Share, like, you know, sharing. There's other names in here. Like, there's Paul. There's Patsy, like Patsy Cline. Oh, that song, crazy. Interesting. Okay.